Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be working with a little kit I put together with kind of a fall theme to it. I have one set of photos left to work with for this particular kit, and then I'm just going to break it down and put it back into my stash. So my stickers will go with stickers, cork will go with cork, and the like. I am going to be using a sketch for this layout, however, I cannot share it with you. I am a Patreon for Heather's Crafty Life, and one of the perks you get at the level I'm at, you do get a free sketch every month, but as it's paid content, I don't feel free to share it. I don't support a lot of people on Patreon. I just really like Heather, and I will say I've been a Patreon, let's see, it is October 8th when I'm filming this, and I joined when she first started it at the end of September, and she really does give you quite a bit of exclusive stuff and releasing it beforehand and free things that I definitely think it's worth throwing a couple bucks a month. That's my own personal opinion. She is not paying me to say this. I pay just like everyone else. So that is just my 2 cents worth. I'm gonna go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward and start this. So let's get going. All right, so the first thing I went and did is I went and grabbed my Stampin' Up! Border Scallop Punch. And I like that punch, but I really need to get myself in gear, head over to eBay, and pick up the EK Success Double Dot Scallop Punch, the larger scallop. And I love the way it looks. I got to borrow it from a friend when I was at a crop, and I love it. It's just one of those things I need to remember to head on over there, and hopefully they've got some that aren't like going sky high. So I'm going to go ahead and map my 2 photos. They are both 4x6 horizontal photos. In one is Sadie, and she's in a red sweater. That's the one I'm placing right now. You see my nephew in the corner there, but the story really isn't about my nephew. It's about the dogs. And then in the bottom photo I'm placing right now is actually my housemate's mother's dog, and his name is Archie. And I've done layouts about Archie before. We get to hang out on Thanksgiving because my Thanksgiving always ends earlier than my housemate and my nephew's Thanksgiving. So I come back to the house and Archie and I hang out together. So, anyways, as I said, this is at housemate's mother's house, and she has a very elegantly styled Victorian house. You know, it's on the historical home register in their town, and it's got antiques and just chock full of furniture. And whenever we're there, we always feel very fancy. And I was saying when I was taking these pictures, I'm like, the dogs even look like fancy dogs. So for the longest time, I was actually calling this layout Fancy Dogs. Then I just did a layout. I don't know if you watched the video or not, but it's called She Requires the Fancy Box. I didn't feel like using the word fancy like that twice in a row regarding animals. So instead, I had this idea come to me like literally as I was going to sleep one night. I'm like, oh my goodness, that would be perfect. So when it comes time to start working on the title, I will talk about that. Okay, so as I have been nattering on, I have made some cuts, and these are pretty much spot on to the way the sketch went. The only difference, the biggest difference in what I'm doing in the sketch is that in the original sketch, the photos were vertical, not horizontal. So I cut banner pieces into that birdcage paper, and all of these papers are much older, so I'm not bothering to show you branding strips. But that birdcage paper is actually from Kezi Art, which is a French company, and then that dark wood grain paper is from Simple Stories from their Snap Basics line that they released a line of just basic dots and wood grains. I want to say in 2015, but really don't quote me on that. So I also cut a piece of that vellum paper with the copper triangles, and that is from Seven Paper, which was kind of like a little offshoot of Studio Calico a couple of years ago. So I have cut the birdcage paper, the wood grain paper, and then the opposite of the wood grain paper, and that's that. It's actually a taupe on cream mini polka dot. And I'm just trying to get it to the point where I like the way it looks with the vellum over it. And how I did that was splitting that wood grain paper and making it look like it spans each side of that cream paper. So now I'm happy with the way everything looks. Oh, and that green paper, that is also from the Simple Stories Snap line of their basic chevron and polka dots paper that was released a couple years ago. I think it was released around the same time they did the wood grain paper. So I'm liking the way everything is looking, so I'm going to start gluing things together. I'm making sure to attach everything properly. Oh, sorry, my background page is actually from Pink Paisley, and that's like super old, like 2009, something around those lines. And it's hard to see on the video here, but what it actually has, it's a tone on tone with little hearts on it. But they're not like regimented hearts, they're kind of like hearts that could be clouds almost, if that makes sense. I know it's probably very hard to see on camera, but in the close-ups, hopefully you can see what I mean. If you stick watching all the way to the end, you'll be able to see close-ups of the embellishment areas, and you should be able to at some point see that background piece. So I'm going to do a banner end piece with this birdcage paper, and I'm going to have that coming out on the right hand side, and that's also from the sketch. And I'm just trying to make it so that it ends up looking pleasing to my eye, so I'm just going to zhuzh it up a little bit. I did ink everything up with Gathered Twigs Distress ink. That's my go-to brown for distressing the edges of things. And I'm happy with the way everything is looking, so I'm going to add a crud ton of ATG to the back of my paper, and everything is copacetic. Woohoo! So because I've got those copper triangles in the vellum piece, I knew I wanted to try to use these Pink Fresh Studio alphas. They are also copper, so it makes sense. And here's where what I thought was just super fun title. So it's going to be in two parts. The first part's going to be using these, and then I'm going to finish off with some Webster's Pages wood tile mini alphas. So my entire title is Downton Abbey Canine Edition. So as I was saying, like they look very fancy, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's almost like they're dogs in Downton Abbey, and I'm like, oh, Downton Abbey Canine Edition. I'll be totally honest, I actually thought dog style first, but then went, yeah, no, that is not gonna be a good idea. We're gonna go with Canine Edition. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, I got a little gutter mind going on here, but that's, what happens sometimes. All right, it is time to embellish. I am going to do a mix of cork and some puffy stickers and some regular stickers. These cork pieces, they've been in my stash for quite a while. The chevron pieces, those I know are from Studio Calico. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. Now the hearts, they may be from Freckled Fawn, but I'm not 100% sure. So I have no idea, but they're very old, so no matter what, I don't know if they're available at all anymore. So these stickers are from an older, well, all Basic Gray lines are older now, but this is from one called Hey You, and they have kind of like a vintage style to them that I thought the tonal quality fit quite well with the papers. And then I also have these chipboard stickers from Chamel's Go Now Go, which was a travel line. I did like the houses that, even though this isn't a Victorian house, it does still have that older house feel. It's more of like a federal style building, but because it's chipboard, I am going to add liquid glue to the back of it. I also grabbed this multicolor stripe scallop piece, and I use that to mimic the scallops in the papers. I'm going to put that house there, and then I'm going to add one of those chipboard trees as well. And then I'm going to grab a flower, and that I'm going to add up by those chevron arrows just to add a third place where there were chipboard stickers. And I'm going to then add some of these puppy stickers. These are also from the Chamel Go Now Go. And what I'm basically looking for, oh, I need to glue down my cork. What I'm basically looking for is I like to have a representation of all the colors I'm using in the line in each embellishment cluster. So in that upper one with the flower, I didn't have any yellow. So I had that yellow in the house in the chipboard, so I wanted to bring a yellow piece. In the upper left-hand corner, I didn't have any of the blue, so I brought some blue over there. And then in a couple of the other ones, I used multicolor ones, and that way it would, you know, bring in a multicolor element to that cluster. Now, I'm using my pen and my T-square ruler to do my journaling, and I'm just talking about how when we're at my housemate's mother's house, everything just looks oh so much fancier, and the dogs look oh so much more elegant than they are in their normal lives. Something along that. I'm not exactly sure. I am almost finished here. I am just going to add some Heidi Swapp gold. Oh no, not gold. Tea. This is tea, and tea ends up looking very much like copper or an antique gold. I really like it for vintage style layouts. That is it for me today. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry if I offended you with my thought process there. I didn't know whether to put that in or not, but it made me laugh. So, all right. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Flick me a thumbs up if you can. Don't report me to YouTube, please. I did not mean anything bad by it. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.